Hello, everyone. This is a really fun episode coming up. We recorded live at EDSpaces, which happened in Houston this past November. And EDSpaces is part of EdMarket, one of our partners. And we were asking attendees the questions of what was their favorite movie or TV show that was school related. We got some really fun answers, as well as digging into what radically student centered means to people and remembering the impact that we have. So take a listen. We have a compilation of a whole bunch of answers, and enjoy the episode. It was a lot of fun doing that, and it's great seeing people live and doing the recording in the Nook pod of one of our partners that has it set up. So enjoy.
All right. Well, thanks, Kevin. Good morning. My name's Darren Butler. I'm the CEO and founder at Muso. School-related movie. Well, I mean, of course, TV show and music, School of Rock. The most unrealistic thing about that movie is they were let out to play a rock and roll show where there were drug taking, drinking adults around the place, and suddenly Jack Black pulled it all off. He basically stole the kids.
Yeah, yep. No permission slips, nothing.
Permission. I'm not sure how the parents felt about that at the time, but they seemed pretty cool after they heard them play.
Yeah, I'm Ben Hansen with MHDN Architects, and I am an associate principal there. Oh, that's easy. School of Rock.
School
Jack
of
Black.
Rock.
Yeah.
All right. So why? What's the reason?
Well, one has got Jack Black in it, and it's hard not to be entertained and just sucked into the whole story. But also, I just love the unconventionality of this man that, he's kind of hitting rock bottom, but he's got a passion for music, and he spreads that passion to the students, and they didn't realize it, but they had the same passion, and it helps them transform and unite in just a really cool way. That he went so long without being detected as not a real teacher, that he was able to stand in as kind of this, or infiltrate as a substitute teacher with no credentials, but they just kind of went with it.
I'm Brenda Swarzynski. I'm the Educational Facilities Planner at Pfluger Architects in Texas.
Perfect. All right. Our question for EdSpaces is, what is your favorite school-related movie or TV show?
Favorite school-related movie or TV show? I will tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind is School of Rock. I think it's just a perfect kind of mashup of a classical education experience. If you've not seen it, it's a substitute teacher who goes into a college prep school and kind of passes himself off as being a teacher, but all he really knows how to do is play in a rock and roll band. But his passion and his investment in the students really helps them thrive and grow. And of course, he also goes on a personal journey of growth as well. It's great, and it's got a lot of good bopping tunes. So that students are compliant, and that, I guess it's kind of a misconception, but it's also true that students will put on this veil of compliance a lot of times, and you think they're engaged, and you think that they're right there with you, and really they just have a good poker face. That's where some of them are. Some of them just openly say, "No, I'm not there for it yet. You haven't engaged me in the right way."
Yeah,
So,
you find out right away. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess can in a way be related to schools, but The Sound of Music is my favorite movie of all time, which seems kind of old school, but I could watch that movie every day if it was on.
It's a perfect one about school. So tell me, what's the most unrealistic thing about that movie that relates to what we see in schools every day?
Right. Well, I mean, you have this house full of rich children, and a Fräulein comes to take care of them, watch over them, and teach them. And one day they just like run out and go bike around town and hide away from the parents. And, in a way, it's like kids can't just leave the school and go bike around town. I mean, even if it's an educational type setting, you have to be chaperoned, you have to sign a form, all of that type of stuff. So to just leave and be able to go explore is just unfortunately not realistic, because I think there's so many benefits to that.
My name is Tom Zard. I am with Kalamazoo Regional Educational Services Agency. It's a long name for KRESA. My title is Chief Operating Officer and Deputy Superintendent. I think I'm old school, right? So I got to go back to Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, good one.
Going way back. Yeah, that was always fun. And it was good to see the teacher engage some kids that were, let's just say, active. Yeah. I would say the most unrealistic thing probably is having to put up with Horseshack's laugh. No, I'm just kidding. I think there's a lot of, racial connotations back then, and you just, doesn't fly. Yeah.
Sure, I am. My name's Tony Lake, and our superintendent at Lindbergh Schools in St. Louis. It's a suburban district on the south side of the metro. Oh, to schools. I'm an old coach, so I think Remember the Titans is probably one of my favorites, or Hoosiers, so is another one. So, yeah, Remember the Titans, what I would say is, I don't know if it's unrealistic or not, but today you couldn't take your team and just go to a camp like they did in Pennsylvania and run them in the middle of the night, and I'd have parent phone call after parent phone call. So to me, it's pretty cool they were able to do that back then, but today, not going to happen.
Absolutely. So I'm Tara Sparks. I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Lindbergh Schools in St. Louis, Missouri. I mean, I'm going to have to go back to the 90s. Dangerous Minds.
Oh, is that with
Kate, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Yeah. So just that was in my formative years of being in college and wanting to really make a difference in kids' lives and feeling that emotional connection about challenges that kids face and how you can advocate for them and support them. So I don't think that schools are so strict as how they were portrayed in that movie. This idea that there's this rigidity. And maybe they are, but not in my experience. I've not experienced that rigidity. Like, what a kid needs is what a kid gets. And the idea that we are coaches and not boundary keepers for kids, I think, is really important. So helping kids flourish in all ways as opposed to being gatekeepers for, a tight, rigid school environment.
My name is Dan Streeter, and I am the superintendent for the Marana Unified School District. I think my favorite all-time school-related movie was probably Summer School with Mark Harmon.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit with the audience like it used to. I think I'm aging myself, but
it's still pretty good.
That
to
was a
rewatch
classic,
it.
right?
That was awesome. That was like one of my favorites.
That was
All right, I can go on like a long time talking about this movie, Trade.
Yeah, I think I go back to pretty early on when he talks about he got into the whole teaching gig to get his summers off. I think we've quickly learned that is not actually a thing in education. So.
My name is Stacy Waxton. I'm Interior Design Team Leader at Hunt EAS. Does Top Gun count because it's a flight school?
Of course it does.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Then I totally, Top Gun.
All right,
Because
that's a great one.
You're at a learning facility. You have very high ceilings. And actually, well, when they're on the ship, they don't have high ceilings. So it affects everyone. That's why they're sweating so profusely. So the acoustics were probably horrible for hearing any person give instruction in that setting. So when we go into schools, one of the things that, you're not going to learn well if you're distracted by a million things. And also if you can hear everything.
I'm Jay Littman. I'm an architect. I'm the founder and the principal for Littman Architecture, which is the educational consulting group, but I'm also a principal architect with Education Design International, run by my former colleague and now present colleague, Prakash Nair. The first one that comes to mind is To Sir with Love, Sidney Poitier. And he was a teacher in a really tough school in London. They hassled him the entire time he was there for the first couple of months, and he realized these guys are beyond teaching ABC. They need to learn the rules of life to survive. And he changed the entire curriculum, and they adored him by the end. And they were all ready to go out in the world. And some of them even said, I might go finish my equivalency and go to college. And they just, their problem was they felt they were lost, and they were set adrift by their education system, and they were constantly striking out against them because they were mad. And so he realized what they needed to have and they realized that he understood them, and so he succeeded. And I was probably 12 years old when it came out, but it just had a huge impact on me. Well, that movie, it was probably a very good depiction of what London schools in particular, but English school system was like, because I worked all over the world, and it's so regimented, and it's so, fill this cup and then go to the next cup and the next cup. And that's not how school works. I mean, that's the result of a system being focused solely on efficiency. How do I educate the masses, and forgetting that you have to have a system that's effective, and it wasn't effective. So I'm not sure I could say what's unrealistic, because the picture they painted, I learned in later years, is not that far from the truth.
Hi, I'm Dr. Deb Kerr. I am the superintendent at the St. Francis Public School District in St. Francis, Wisconsin, which is on the south side of Milwaukee County. I would have to say Stand and Deliver, because you always need an advocate to promote your school district and elevate the work of the people in the school and inspire the students. Yes, well, obviously you can't use physical contact to get kids to listen or mind or follow the rules. But what I think is important for me as a leader is to know that you just don't give up on people, and you do whatever it takes to help kids and staff become better.
Craig Salter. I am an elementary school principal in Fenton, Michigan. It's about halfway between Flint and Ann Arbor. So we're veterinary public schools. There's 3 elementary schools, so one of the 3 elementary principals there. Without thinking too deep, probably remember the Titans. Bring a little diversity together, coming together stronger, uniting together for kind of a greater cause than school itself. So that was my first one. I'm a big football fan too, so that's another reason why it popped in my head. That's kind of a hard one to answer, because I wasn't alive during the time the movie was staged, so that setting, but I imagine some of it was a little realistic with the kind of clashing of the 2 different cultures. I'm sure some of it was far-fetched, but I'm sure in other parts of the country it was a little worse than what the movie portrayed, though.
My name is Brian Parker. I'm a vice president with MHTN Architects in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'm the director of our K-12 group. Okay, so I grew up in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So anytime I think of a movie about education, it's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So they're movies about rebelling against school.
Yeah, perfect. Isn't it awesome?
Yeah. The principal was motivated enough to actually go try and find him.
Okay. My name is Lucy. I work for Foam Core, and I am the media and design coordinator. I haven't watched all of it, but my husband and I started watching Abbott Elementary a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I really liked that.
All right.
But
Okay.
I feel like the amount of tension and, pranks and drama that they have between them, maybe a little unrealistic. But
Yeah.
who am I to say?
Yeah,
Maybe
could be.
it's
That may be the case.
Nathan Stringy, Fielding International Senior Learning Designer. Oh, that's easy. It is not even close in my mind. It's most likely to succeed. It is 2015. The documentary came out, and it told the why of where we're at in education, the history, where our current model of education came from in the late 19th century, brought over from Prussia, really scaled by the Committee of 10, early industrial leaders who wanted to make basic literacy and obedience the norm in public education. And we really haven't changed that much since then. And so it told that story in a really compelling way, but then it showed High Tech High in San Diego, and it really just illuminated a new vision of what school could be, and not in a prescriptive way. So that I still go back to that one as just the best example of both the why, the what, and the how of doing school differently. I taught for 10 years, and so I just love teaching. And so I have so many friends who are teachers, and I respect the profession just an immense amount. But there's a but. High Tech High and many schools like it really feature public exhibitions of learning. the idea that we are going to create something, a product, something that's real, that's connected to the community, and then we are going to exhibit it. We're going to showcase it in a public setting, not only to other peers or other teachers, but we're going to welcome in our entire community, business leaders and government officials, and we're going to really showcase the authenticity of what we do. And I think there's a feeling within teachers, many teachers, not to generalize or overgeneralize, but there's a feeling that, oh, wow, we can't do that. Like, that's just that we can't be that vulnerable. I don't know if that's the right word, but just be that open that we're going to showcase the learning that's happening in our schools.
So I'm Katie Land. I work for Stantec, and I'm a senior interior designer and an associate with the Philadelphia office. It sounds crazy, kind of, but maybe like Glee or something. Because I mean, it's not necessarily, but they start out in high school. And I was just thinking about it the other day, and how, again, it's like one of those things where like the arts and music and all of that, where they're like the forgotten kind of group that the school's trying to get rid of. Like, we don't need that kind of stuff. We don't need arts. And obviously, as an interior designer, that was a very important program for me. The first thing that was the most unrealistic thing is that it was supposed to be in Ohio, and yet they filmed it in a school in California, and all their stuff was like outdoor dining and outdoor classrooms. All this was like not in Ohio, especially not in any time during the majority of the school year.
I'm Clinton Mukai. I am with Teeter Architects and Engineers from Fresno, California, design director. The first thing that comes to mind is Grease.
That's a good one.
And it's funny because I was actually in the Grease band for high school. So it's something I've always wanted to be, like be in a band. And that was like my dream. So it was fun. I mean, not related to architecture is the age of the people.
Megan Armendariz, Teeter Architects and Engineers in California. Oh, goodness. Maybe Gilmore Girls. I don't know if that's a stretch, but Rory was a big nerd and kind of like me, loved school, so I could relate to her. Well, that one was just very structured and scary, and I feel like we want to make schools super welcoming with our designs, so I wouldn't have wanted to go to that school.
Tom Dunn, Chandler Unified School District, Executive Director for Capital Projects and Operations. You know, I love the two movies that come to mind are Lean on Me is one that comes to mind, and then the other one out of LA. I think it's The Long Road or The Long Way. It's about a golf team.
Oh, I just saw that
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
right?
like the
Like,
superintendent is
yeah,
the golf
superintendent
coach. And
starts the golf team. Gosh, it's been so long. I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember how impactful he was for those students that, just needed somebody that, cared about them, loved them, but then also had like high expectations of them, which I think is so critical for all of us. So I don't remember a lot of
yeah.
didn't he carry a big stick or something, like, I
Did,
don't know.
like, I remember he chained the
Yeah,
doors.
chain the door. Yeah. There's
There was
probably
a lot of
fire
there was a
code and a
lot
lot
in
of
that.
things that were not
He got
realistic.
thrown in prison,
Yeah.
and like the kids were chanting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
lot of unrealistic, but
Yeah.
it's such a good movie.
Leo Schlitter, Executive Director of Elementary Education, Chandler Unified School District in Chandler, Arizona.
Oh, School of Rock.
School of Rock is it's phenomenal. School of Rock and the one with Robin Williams and A Dead Poets Society. I think they portray an apathy on behalf of the teachers that I don't see necessarily. I mean, I know, you every organization has a little bit of that, but it was overblown a bit in that school. And that wasn't the purpose of the movie, but just the way the substitutes act and things like that, that was kind of glorified or overblown in School of Rock. Yeah, the Dead Poets Society, I'm not a higher ed. I mean, I went to higher ed, but I don't know higher ed that well. I just, I think most higher ed institutions want to do what's best for kids, and you don't get that sense from most of that in Dead Poets Society other than Robin Williams. And I think most of them are really, truly, they want to do what's best for kids. But I'm not familiar with the East, the high-end East Side higher ed institutions, the private schools. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Avron Naveen. I work for Mean Company. I'm the Senior Director of Furniture Innovation. Yeah, well, probably, what was it? Grease. How many times you got Grease?
Literally, this is the second one
Oh,
in the last
really?
hour.
Oh,
And I
really?
would have never guessed that it would make the
Really? Yeah.
list. All right.
Rydell High.
All right.
Remember, I'm foreign, so
That
that's
was
what I
your
based
view of
my
America.
America. Children seem quite happy and
That's the unrealistic
yeah,
part.
engaged,
Yeah.
kind to each other at times.
Frank, mean environments, mean company. I'm the Midwest Regional Director, so I'm in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. School related. I guess A Christmas Story.
Oh,
You know,
that's the first one that. Oh, all right. I love it. All right.
Ralphie. Ralphie.
Ralphie.
He had this. He had the experience
Oh,
there, right?
yes. I mean, that is like a.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. How much clothing you had to wear when you walked to school?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that was a little excessive.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was Cleveland.
Yeah, could be.
Have you ever wondered how a simple change in your classroom can revolutionize learning? At K-12, we believe the physical space is key. When we partnered with Gary Community Schools in Indiana, something incredible happened. Their classrooms were outdated and uninspiring. Using our radically student-centered approach, we reimagined their spaces. The transformation was nothing short of amazing. Teachers saw immediate results, students came back from winter break excited, more engaged, collaboration increased, and overall performance improved. One student even shared, "We have new furniture, it's like Christmas all over again." On the first day back, local media came in to cover the story, capturing the joy and excitement of students discovering their new learning environments. See how we can transform your school today. Visit kay-twelve.com to learn more about our innovative approach. K-12, because every student deserves an inspiring place to learn. Visit kay-twelve.com today.
Caitlin Fercucci, and I am the Chief Education Strategist at PD by Mean, the sister company of Mean Environment. Movie, Billy Madison, obviously, because, you know, he's got a whole song and everything, and he goes through all the grades, and that's fun. TV show, The OC, which isn't about teachers per se, but it's about learners, and that was like my favorite show until I went to California and saw the OC and was like, this is not like the TV show at all. Feel like I'm in Chino right now. Okay, classroom sizes for one. That's always hilarious because I'm like, what is this? Oh, Kindergarten Cop 2. Oh, that's a great.
Kindergarten Cop 2 had to be in the same room as Billy Madison, right? I
Yes,
mean,
they
that
had
had
to
to have
be.
been.
Like, filmed right there. Yeah, big classrooms. The educators aren't with it. They're always like, the educators are just some like people who stand up in front of a room, but they don't really. I mean, even who's the teacher that eats the paste in Billy Madison?
It's Billy Madison that eats the paste.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
she puts it on her face.
Oh, that's right. She's like
Miss
paints her
Lippy.
eyes, Miss Libby, and she's. I don't know. Maybe elementary teachers are like that. Who knows? But and then it's always they're curmudgeon-y and very just nobody wants to be in the class, and that's always sad.
My name is Sarah Bartz, and I am a designer and also the research lead at Modus Studio, which is an architecture and interior design firm based in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Oh, definitely Abbott Elementary.
Nice.
Definitely the amount of time that the teachers spend together in the show, which I
In the
get is the
teacher's
premise of the show. But yeah, there's, they're never in their classrooms, it feels like.
My name is Tara Bray. I am a trauma-informed architect and the director of environmental and social impact at Modus Studio. Oh, school-related? I'm sure a lot of people are going to be using this answer, but I love School of Rock. I would say the most unrealistic was just not actually doing schoolwork, but just playing instruments instead. That was not my experience when I was in school, but it would have been fun if that was.
Hey, my name is Michael Banning. I'm with Smith System, and I am the regional sales manager for Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean for Smith Systems.
All right.
Right off the bat of my head, it's The Breakfast Club. Yes. Gotta go with The Breakfast Club. I recently watched it again, and I'm like, it's a time capsule. It's the exact same, but the unrealistic thing is Molly Ringwald probably having a relationship with someone she would probably never have in a school setting. Let's just say that.
Hi, I'm Kelly Crampton with Steelcase Learning, and I lead the marketing team. Friday Night Lights.
Oh, that's like
The
literally one of
TV
my
show.
favorite TV shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think all the characters were 25, but they played high schoolers. Um,
I mean, Riggins was,
yeah.
yeah, he had to be close to 30.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. So my name is Dr. Kimberly Robertson. I am with Guilford County Schools in Greensboro, North Carolina. I would definitely say it's a throwback TV show. It was Boston Public.
Oh.
I really like that one because it really showed truly what was happening in schools. It was realistic. I know everyone wants to, look at Abbott Elementary now and when you've actually been an administrator in the building, it's like, don't say that. We're not doing that. But it's great for comic relief. But I really like to actually see some of the hardships that's going on that Boston Public used to have. So I hate it when it was canceled. I mean, it showed the passion the educators had. Also showed, the downsides. So it's hard to say what's unrealistic. Like I can really say with like Abbott, you can really
Right,
there is no principal that is don't. Well, maybe some.
Hope not.
I know, but really getting into the heart of educators and some of the things that happen behind the scenes, like when they get home and their home stories. A lot of times you don't see that. Period. When you're in the building with someone, a parent doesn't know what an educator or students they're going through. So you just got a small glimpse of that in Boston Public, but you really didn't see everything that teachers bring in with them daily. You miss that struggle that the staffs have, that they have to kind of put in their back pocket and say, hey, I'm here. I got to deliver. I got to do what I have to do in front of my students. So.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Rachel French. I'm Director of Planning for Austin Independent School District. I mean, the first one that comes to mind, you've probably heard a lot, is Abbott Elementary because it's like on now.
Yeah.
And so it's just front of mind. So I would say Abbott
All
Elementary.
right, let's go with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Some parts are pretty realistic. Not gonna lie. No, I mean, in our district at least, I don't think we let things get quite as dire as they experience on a daily basis. But man, that first episode of the most recent season where she walks in from the district and they talk about arranging furniture in certain ways, I'm like, oh, this is hitting too close to home.
Oh.
My name is Colleen Crum. I work for the United States Army Corps of Engineers in Louisville, Kentucky, or Louisville District is how we call it. I love the School of Rock. I can't help it. I'm an 80s rock and roll fan, so I'd say Jack Black's like my idol because of that. I think at the end when like the parents are in the crowd and they're suddenly like, go kids, where the 20 minutes before they were like, my kids are not allowed to have individual freedoms. I think that was the most unrealistic, but it was still made for a great ending.
So my name is Crystal Danzy, and my organization is PACE High School, which stands for Pathways Accelerating Career Experiences, and also Visionary Leaders LLC, which is a consulting company I started with my husband and another like-minded person to really branch out and be innovative and bring different ideas to the educational line.
Ooh.
Whoa, favorite movie or TV show that's school related? Well, right now it's been Abbott Elementary. It's nice to add laughing to scenarios that can be pretty serious and pretty troubling. But when you flip it a little bit and you bring sarcasm and you bring just the funniness in it all, it definitely makes you think, you just got to laugh about some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, goodness, that principal. There's no way she would have been let go a long time ago. All the sneaking and the moments when, she's doing side deals with businesses and such conflict of interest.
Right. My name is Murad Zachary. I'm a senior project manager. I'm overseeing and managing the bond department for Irving Independent School District. And I'm professional engineer by degree as well. That's school related.
Yeah.
Well, that might sound funny, but I love Home Alone.
Oh, that's a
It's
classic.
Christmas time. But yeah, that kid leaving him alone at home and see how he's gonna interact and well, the way he react normally, not normally you're not gonna get that brave and walk around and get everything equipped, ready to fight somebody come and robber your house, and you just fight it yourself. That's kind of unrealistic a
Yeah.
little bit.
My name's Olivia Graff Doyle. I'm the design principal and partner at Architecture for Education, and we're a woman-owned firm based in Pasadena, California. That's school related. Man, you needed to give me some time to
No,
think about
I love
this.
getting everyone's reaction from it.
Oh, favorite movie. Okay, I can't think of one off the top of my head that's going to be super relevant, but I didn't grow up in America. I grew up in Switzerland and in Germany, and every time I'd come visit my American grandparents, we would rent Annie, the
Oh,
original Annie. I know
that's a
that's not school
classic.
related, but I loved the kind of the camaraderie that all the kids had. And maybe also Miss Hannigan was secretly my favorite. She was not a good teacher, but but the kids seemed to be singing and having fun. So hopefully Miss Hannigan taking a bath in gin.
Yeah, Theron Schutte, superintendent of schools in Marshalltown, Iowa. I don't know that I have an answer for that. I should. I mean, I can visualize a few movies, but I'm not. Freedom Riders, maybe.
Oh, that's a good
Be
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. That one has not been mentioned yet, but
Oh,
that's a
okay.
good one. All right. So, knowing what you know working in schools, what was the most unrealistic thing about that? Did they portray schools the right way?
I think they did. I've had the fortune, this is my 40th year in education, and I've had the opportunity over those 40 years as a teacher, principal, superintendent to work in rural, urban-like, suburban. And, I think that there is something to kids developing mindsets because of their environment, because of their circumstances that would potentially limit or create barriers or prohibit them from reaching their full potentials. And so, I do believe that individual teachers and or collective cultures can change that mindset. And, that's the beautiful thing about education. It should be the equalizer of those disadvantages that kids don't bring upon themselves. They simply inherit them. And, but schools can position them to kind of create their own future and destiny with, extra supports and the types of things that all kids need in order to be positioned for success.
My name is Jananne Pittman. I'm a principal with Jackson Ryan Architects here in Houston. That's related to schools? Well, Ted Lasso comes to mind just because I feel like it's related to life.
This is Mark Beebe. I'm an architect with Ratio Design, so I lead our Midwest K-12 practice. I don't know if this is really school related, but it has learning definitely built in and growth. So I love the movie Yesterday. It's the Beatles movie where, the lead character, he has this accident and he gets knocked unconscious. So he wakes up in the hospital and realizes that the 12 seconds or whatever where he was unconscious, the rest of the world sort of reset and they no longer remember the Beatles songs. He's the only one left, essentially, that remembers the Beatles. And he's a musician that's been kind of struggling, and suddenly he's got this gift of being able to bring back to the world the beauty and the magic of the Beatles. So just this amazing.
I love it. It's a great movie. I love
It is. And so I feel like there's so many opportunity, lessons of learning and growth all wrapped in there. Maybe
All right,
in a
so
way.
that's what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What's the most unrealistic thing in that movie that is related to learning? I mean, the whole premise is a little unrealistic.
It's a little wacky.
The most unrealistic thing. Let's see. Well, I mean, I think everybody tries to get along, but by the end, does everybody really get along? There's that. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, I think the most unrealistic thing is that a football coach from a university would go to a professional soccer field. I mean, it's not exciting, but that's, the whole gist of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Thea Wayburn. I work for Brick Architecture in Portland, Oregon. So I wear a lot of hats. So licensed architect who likes interiors. And of our 55-person firm, I am the sole FF&E space plan advisor. Well, it's not my favorite, but the first movie that came to mind was Back to School.
Yes.
Rodney Dangerfield. I don't think they would put him on the diving team. I really don't.
The triple
The triple Lindy.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun doing this. Great meeting people face to face while recording the podcast. As always, wherever you're listening to this, go ahead and hit subscribe. BetterLearningPodcast.com is our hub for everything. I think we're going to take a lot of the ideas from this and incorporate it into future episodes. So thank you for listening and being part of this community, because it really takes all of us to be involved and make the impact that we want on education. So we'll talk to you next time. The views and opinions expressed on the Better Learning Podcast are those of myself as an individual and my guests, and do not necessarily represent the organizations that we work for, the Association for Learning Environments, K-12, Education Leaders Organization, or Second Class Foundation.